So we're 2 model years into the Mazda 3 2019 and 2020, but we're getting some new upgrades for the hatch and the sedan. So definitely some exciting stuff coming out of Mazda.
Right, and all of that good stuff here on this episode.
So one major difference coming at the 2021 model for the Mazda 3 is a new engine. So currently the standard is a 2-liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated, which is about 155 horsepower. Yeah, so kind of boring, not as exciting as the K5 we were talking about in our last
Jacob,
episode.
we can't pick on it because some people out there don't care about how many horsepower are in their cars. So.
No, they're looking for the MPG that's coming out of it, which is great for this engine option.
Right.
But what we're getting later this year, beginning of next year, is a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder turbo in the Mazda 3, which is good for about 250 horsepower and 320 foot-pound of torque. Putting in work. That's his turbo noise right there. But this will be an upgradable option for the sedan and the hatchback. So now is Mazda giving us another hot hatch? With the absence in the market from the Focus STs and the Fiesta STs and some other hot hatches, we are getting some more stuff from our Asian counterparts.
Right, and I'd have to confirm to Jacob that is a truth of what's happening here. The Mazda 3, back in the day, they had the Mazda 3 Speed, which got a lot of people stoked and excited about what Mazda was doing, because ever since they got rid of the Miata and some other things that they had in the past,
and
or not getting rid of the Miata, they've always had the Miata.
Yeah, RX-8s and RX-7s, stuff like that. The really cool sports cars. Then they had, like Josh said, the Mazda Speed 3, a hot hatch, something cool. It's been kind of bland with the exception of the new Miata recently, and now...
Even all this talk, I mean, we're talking about the Mazda 3 today, but you're talking about the Mazda 6, even having that talks of a twin-turbo inline 6, which that's insane. That's some BMW stuff right there. But
yeah, and I really think that's what they're trying to accomplish with the 6. That's going to be they have better features in that one, so that's going to be more of their luxury one. And when you got luxury like that, you want power with it because you're spending more money, so you want it to look good, sound good, and go good. But with the Mazda 3, that's on the lower tier level of really their average buyer,
right?
Which is why it's only had a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder up until this point. So now they're trying to liven up that market there because probably that's more of a younger buyer vehicle, and hot hatch is a younger person thing on average, so they want...
Comes with a vape.
Exactly, yeah, comes standard with the vape. So they're going after that Subaru market is what they're...
So one main thing to note here is, Car and Driver come out with what their best looking vehicles on the market right now for 2019, 2020, and the Mazda 3 hatchback actually made that list amongst the Volkswagen Arteon, the Lexus LC. You're talking about Aston Martin, and I was like, wow. It got some serious recognition of being best looking. So I mean, if you're combining Mazda's entirely new look from their marketing standpoint, like what they require compliance wise, what they're doing with their vehicles, how sleek they look, and actually how much nicer they get on the insides with their signature and select trims that they have on even the CX-5, the Mazda 6, and now you're talking about the Mazda 3, and where they're going to be like, here, we'll make it fun to drive too. So this luxury aspect we're trying to create is becoming a reality, because that used to be the difference was, you could stuff a Hyundai Sonata with heated steering wheel and air-conditioned seats and heated seats, all this fun stuff, but it was always slow as hell.
Yeah.
And so this thing, now they're making it competitive to where now you actually can sit here, and we'll keep picking on it, is you could potentially sit there and say, why would I go get a Lexus IS 300 if I could just go get this?
Save me 10, 20 grand and go get a 4-cylinder turbo hot hatch from Mazda. And I really think the market is demanding more.
Even the sedan looks good.
Yeah, both of them look good. And I think the market, not just... You can't really market vehicles as much anymore as the cheapest car in town. Like, you're looking for a cheap car. Like, people, they still want nice features. There's still going to be buyers out there that are like, I just need the cheapest car possible. But when you're talking new vehicles, if you're trying to buy the cheapest car possible to get you to point A to point B, you're not buying new anyways. You're going to go buy a used car somewhere.
Or you're going to go find a Mitsubishi Mirage.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
That is not for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Different.
The reason they call it the Mirage is it's not really there, but
Exactly. But point being, people, when they buy new cars, regardless of what it is, they don't want, 2 years ago tech.
Yeah.
They want the new stuff. They want stuff that has more peppy to drive, which now, with this, you don't have to keep it in Mazda's house. You don't have to buy the Miata to have fun. With this 2.5 liter turbo, you could buy the Mazda 3 and have fun.
yeah, most of the models that are on the Mazda line, you could get something that has north of 200 horsepower, and in that segment, that's not very common. Especially when you talk about the size of these cars, that's very competitive. Even the Mazda 6 comes with a V6 in the previous editions, and it had about a 240 horsepower, 250 horsepower, which is pretty good. But we're living in a very tech-driven market, and just like Jacob said, every car that's coming out brand new has to have the tech. I'm pretty sure most cars that are decently luxurious have remote start, have fancy settings on their leather interior. Sometimes they're leatherette. Same difference in the car market. When you're a buyer, you want these nice features, and if they're not available, you're more than likely not loyal to anybody, and you're just going to go to the next car.
Yeah. Take me as an example. I've owned my first 5 vehicles, or 6 if you count the last one. I had a Dodge Dakota, so Dodge. Then I had a Ford Mustang. Then I had a Hyundai Veloster. Then I went to a Ford F-150, and I owned another Ford Mustang. So I went Dodge, Ford, Hyundai, Ford, Ford. So I've switched a handful of times. But other than that, like Josh just said, people will switch. They're not loyal to a specific brand as much as they used to be.
Except Subaru. We know you're loyal.
That's different, yeah. And Volkswagen. You guys are a whole different level.
Yeah, different thing.
But like we were saying in a previous episode with the K5, with all these features that we're getting in the upgraded engine options, it's still relatively cheap. The highest trim level of a Mazda 3 now is just shy of 30 grand, the MSRP. With this new engine option, and you're adding all the tech stuff that we're talking about now with this new 2.5 liter turbo, I predict it's still going to be low 30s. I don't think it's going to be mid or even high 30s. It's still going to be relatively cheap.
Yeah, and with all the stuff that's happening in the car market, you guys can give us your comments and suggestions of what you guys are requiring when you're going car shopping. What are you looking for? I know for me and Jacob, we're looking for tech as well as fun under the hood. And so those are just different aspects of why you'd buy a car. And we've made a bunch of videos about how to go car buying as well as what cars we're excited about. But let us know where you guys are at in your headspace. What do you think about the car market? What is exciting you? What do you require?
Yeah, would you buy this Mazda 3 because it's a hot hatch or because it has some nice features in it? So let us know what you think.
Or does it look good? Who knows?
Or all 3. Just let us know. So
if you haven't already, go ahead and support us by hitting that subscribe button right down below. Go ahead and hit the bell that's right next to it. That way you can get alerted whenever we have new content coming out.
But without further ado, that's Gulf Coast Gearheads signing off.